Shall we begin?
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the More Than Just Keto podcast. I am one of your hosts, Molly.
Hello, friends, and I am your other host, Ashley. And while you see the title of this may seem very similar to one of our podcast episodes from last year, we are specifically talking about keto in this one. We did lifestyle versus diet mentality. And while a lot of those same thoughts and that same discussion is present here, we wanted to narrow it down and really address the way that this affects us specifically with keto.
So are diets bad? Is a keto diet bad? Do you have to choose a keto lifestyle? I mean, neither is bad, right? There's a time for a diet.
I don't think there is a wrong answer there. I think the biggest thing is figuring out what you need to do for you. And how do you go about figuring that out?
Well, you pick your path, right? You decide if you're looking for long-term sustainable weight loss, or someone might be getting ready for an event, a vacation. They want to lose a certain amount of weight before that vacation or event. Some people do it, a diet, just to get back on track, to like reset. And then go.
Maybe you feel like you're a little off balance and you need something to kind of reel it in. Maybe you have been enjoying yourself this summer and you're like, you know what, I don't have a ton of weight to lose, but I would like to just be more disciplined, right? You know, you'll hear cleanse or fast, or maybe, you know, that's kind of the same kind of idea,
like
right?
A jump start. Yeah.
Jump start, whatever.
Cleanse,
that would be more of like the diet mentality of that, right? So you're doing something with a begin and an end date. You know, it's maybe not long-term. It's something to get you back on track. Maybe you don't have that many issues with eating or with your food and you're pretty fine, but you've just kind of, you know, gotten soft, right? As far as making choices every day that are the best.
Yeah. And I think it matters, like what you said just now. Do you have a lot of weight to lose? Do you have a little? Because, you know, some people go to their doctor and they learn that they are in an unhealthy weight and it actually is affecting their health. And so the doctor tells them you're going to need to go on a diet because your life depends on you losing some weight. And so then, of course, you're going to do a diet, which, like you've said before, is quick, hard, and heavy. Like you,
it's fast.
All of a sudden, you have to cut things out of
turkey. You're throwing everything away in your pantry. You are, you know, in our minds and in society's minds, the way you start a diet is you abandon everything prior,
right, and
to
restrict,
immediately get results.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's a big thing to point out here when you're looking at the two. That's really the difference, right? Is that it's a time thing. I need to do this very quickly. I don't want to go on, maybe it's even like, I don't want to go on medication, or my doctor said, if I can just lose this extra, whatever, you know, I'm not looking at this or that or whatever medically, or I really have this event and I bought this dress and all of a sudden it doesn't fit.
Right.
And it fit a couple months ago and I don't know what happened. And you just need this push to get yourself in a better position.
And you know, some doctors, even I'm hearing it more and more, and I'm so happy, but I'm hearing more and more doctors, like, I don't say they're not pushing it. What would you call it? They're suggesting the keto diet.
Yeah. Or low carb. You're seeing that more,
carb.
And not just Atkins low carb, but they're talking more of the ketogenic style. Because, you know, we've said this a million times. This is not a one size fits all. So, you know, when we say keto, that means that, you know, keto your way.
Yeah. And with a doctor's, I would imagine he's saying, take the flipping sugar out of your diet because the sugar ain't helping you, honey. You know, because if we look, it's basically, they want people to reduce inflammation.
Right. And sugar is definitely
keto is like perfect for that. Yeah. So that's why, you know, that would be a great diet to go on to get the quick need that you have. But here's the thing about a diet, right? Diets are temporary. You'll stop a diet eventually. And once you stop dieting, you're likely to go back to your regular eating patterns. And that's why we firmly believe that keto can be a lifestyle. And we both...
And sustainable.
A lifestyle has to really be sustainable. If you think about it, you know, in order for it to be a lifestyle, in order for you to continue doing it, well, you want to enjoy it. It's got to be sustainable. And you want it to be healthy.
And fairly simple too. I think that's really important. You don't want it to be too complicated. And that's different from saying that you may be overwhelmed in the beginning. We're talking long term. It's got to be something that most of the time is pretty easy to make a choice towards that lifestyle.
Right. But this is something that I've heard, and I would love for us to talk about this. I've heard quite often that it even, I don't want to say doctors, it's really Dr. Google, because I don't know what doctors actually said this, because I am quite sure there's plenty, and I could name some, that will say that keto is certainly can be a healthy lifestyle. On Google, when you read different things, it'll say keto is never a diet that you need to stay on long term. It needs to be short term. And I wonder to myself, do they actually know what keto is? Because I would think eating protein, vegetables, good fat, low carb, the lower carb, less starchy or non-starchy vegetables and fruits, I would think that would be something that would be a healthy thing.
Well, when you look at keto, other than the fat, it's a very whole food diet if you choose
it to be right.
Do it that way.
Right. Well, I mean, there is the dirty
I think that
side.
There's also some misconception when we're looking at Google. And I see this a lot, you'll make a comment and be like, well, that's not how I keto, I eat keto with vegetables. And people are like, well, that's not how everybody else does it. That's not what we're talking about.
That's not real keto. It's like, wait, what?
And once again, keep your eyes on your own plate, because everybody's going to do this in their own way. And the way you may start keto may be completely different light years and how you end up doing it. But you know what I have to say? I have respect for anybody that does this any way. The fact that you know that you have goals and that you need to make changes, and they are pretty severe. We've talked about this. It's a big food group to change around and to drop most of that out, not to completely eliminate. I don't agree with the elimination diet. We still have glucose in our bodies.
Yeah.
We still are consuming carbs. We're just keeping them in a ratio that is very low.
Yeah.
So it's not a complete elimination, and that really aggravates me when people talk about that. But I think, if you have to start off dirty keto, the fact that you started, what if that's the thing that makes you do it long term?
I mean, that's the only way and I've said this, we both have our different beginning of keto. You were super strict keto.
Yeah.
Like you've even said it was a diet for you.
For sure. I gave myself a month of it. I mean, I even put 30 days. If I can do this for 30 days and I don't hate it, then I'm going to make this a lifestyle. I'm going to make a permanent change.
That's smart though. That's a really smart plan.
I gave myself time limits. I held the, you know what, you can do anything for 30 days as far as food goes. You can. So you're going to do this. You're going to thug it out for 30 days. You can do that. Okay. You can be here, and if you have to suffer, it's only 30 days, right?
Yeah.
In my mind, that's what I'm saying. Because I have the same misconception that every single other person in the universe that hasn't tried keto has, that I'm saying right now, which is like, I just can't live without those things. Like I might not want to live. Like this period. I'm not giving up the baguette. Yeah. You'll have to pry that from my cold dead hands out of my casket. Like I'm not giving it up.
Right.
I'm not giving up chocolate and sugar. No. So I said 30 days. Fine. This is my last day. This is it. Ashley, you're doing it for 30 days. I don't want to hear you complain. I'm talking to myself, obviously.
Yeah, you got it.
I don't want to hear you complain. You're doing this for 30 days. But if you like it or it works, then this is it. You got to turn it into a lifestyle. Bam. More than 2 years later.
I know, right?
And my journey has shaped and shifted and changed in so many different directions. I've gone 10 steps left and 10 steps right and 500 forward and 200 back. And I mean, it's not for the faint of heart. Creating a lifestyle is a commitment to yourself every single day, but you're worth it. You are worth getting up every day and saying, like, your health is worth it. You are worth it as a person. And for me, and I know for you, keto was delicious.
Yes.
Who would have known? And the energy from ketosis. I would not be able to record this podcast right now if I didn't have ketones in my body.
Yeah, because what did you do today?
I worked till 9:30, came home, ran around and got
How many steps did you take already today?
I don't know. Like I've walked like 4 miles. It's 10:28 and here I am.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get up tomorrow. I'm going to go to the gym. I'm going to do it.
And you have full energy and you're not slumming it. You're like,
no, Am I tired? Of course I'm tired. I'm a mom.
But you know what? I wouldn't be able to tell. You don't
I
look tired at
would.
all.
My eyes are tired, but yeah, my body doesn't feel tired. And that is coming from the
Ketosis
ketones,
energy. Yeah.
is using that stored energy, that fat store to give me that boost so that I can continue to go. So when I call to action, like when I need that, I have it. And it's very different than anything else I've experienced.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you and I advocate so hard, is because if you know what ketosis feels
It's
like,
true.
what you may find is that when you do a diet and you get yourself knocked out of there, you're like,
This ain't for me. No.
this ain't, I can't
This ain't
live
it.
the basic life. I need the ketos. I need the ketones. Anyway, that's how I feel.
No, I used to say, if you don't know what healthy feels like, you don't know what you're missing, right? So
Oh,
it's not
100%.
like a high priority to you. It's like,
No, because
it's,
you don't even know you feel bad. Let's just be really real.
right.
I mean,
But let me
you
tell
don't.
you something. Healthy is not overrated at all. It is,
No.
once you feel healthy, once you know what health is, once you get a clean bill of health, you're like, I did this. Like, because
I mean, like, I don't want to brag, but like, I'm really good at taking care of like this vessel. I know, like, I know it's mine. I only get one, so I just like really want to take care of it. Like,
it's true though.
You're like, you put yourself on this pedestal. You're like, yeah, like we don't do that. What do you mean you? My body and I, we don't do
Right?
that.
Well,
Like, it's
I'm telling
like
you.
a new person.
Do you
You're
know
a new
how
person.
proud I was when
Oh,
I
yeah.
got
The
my
pride, yeah.
paperwork for my blood test and everything was
And they were like, you're perfect. You're like, thank you so much for being here. I just want to let everyone know that yes, it is that good.
But isn't that interesting? So a lot of doctors, if I would tell them I'm keto, they'd be like, oh, that's not good for you, because they don't understand. Because doctors go to school and they learn about the body and but they're not learning about nutrition. They're not learning. You learn about
Basic,
what you
yeah.
apply to learn
Right.
about. You know what I
Right.
mean? So
Yeah.
just because they have doctor in their name, and this isn't a put down to doctors, this is just reality, people. Just because they have doctor in front of their name doesn't mean they know anything about the way to eat. They know what they're taught by the FDA, and this is,
Right, the requirements of health, right?
Right.
Like,
This is their
on that level.
textbook. This is it. But there are plenty of doctors out there that have studied keto, that have learned, and they are suggesting it to their patients. We had your mom on last season. Oh my gosh. She is very big about being your own health advocate. And I learned a lot when she was here and she talked.
Her motto is that the doctor works for you. It's
Yeah.
not the other way around. And if you don't find someone that you like, then you fire them.
Move on.
I mean,
Yes.
that's extreme, but then that isn't a person that has the same interests or is willing to do the research and sit with you and make a health plan that works for you.
Right.
That's someone that's made up their mind about every single person or you ahead of time based on what they've seen and what they
Right.
know and what they've learned. And what we really need to be doing is saying, I'm interviewing you to be my doctor. Okay. Right. And I know
Yeah.
it seems harsh, but once
No,
my
I
mom
think we
said
need
that
to
to
know
me,
that. Mhm.
I've had a completely different experience
Me too.
with doctors, of any sort, right? And I've just made my intentions very clear. This is what's important to me. Is that important to you for me?
Right. Right.
If it's not, then we're just not a good fit. But it doesn't mean that the doctor isn't a good doctor.
Right.
It
It's just
means
not the
it's a
doctor
great
for
doctor
you.
For me, just like the other American standard American diet is not for me. My doctor really she heard about it. She's not against it. She actually made the joke, man, I think I need to do that too. Like, you look great, And I told her how much weight. I've shown her my pictures. She's like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
She never once made me feel strange or never ever patronized me over it or
Yeah.
question my health. I've had lots of tests done and studies, and there's been no reason to be concerned or alarmed by anything.
Right.
So why would she? That's not the topic of discussion. My health is good.
You really, from your experience, you have enlightened her because she didn't know, like you said,
Right.
she didn't know. So now it's like,
Right. And
maybe
how
I need to
amazing
learn
is that you can get a doctor to be interested in what you're doing. And
Right.
maybe she has more tools to even investigate further and give you information. I mean, what an amazing
Oh, I know.
possibility there is for information and also just for spreading positivity about something that works for you. We're not saying everybody do this diet.
Right. No. But we're talking
You know what I
about
mean?
the
So,
keto diet. That's
exactly.
what we're talking about.
It can work for a lot of people, but we're not saying, well, everybody should go to their doctor and tell them that we should do keto. I'm just saying, if that's what you're interested in, step one is, okay, you've maybe tried a lot of things. We talked about this before, and something has led you to either pique your interest, or there's somebody that's made you question it. And now you got to decide, okay, how am I going to do this?
Yeah.
And what am I going to do? How much
Right.
weight do I, and like you said, getting back to that in the beginning, it's like, how much weight do I have to lose,
Yes.
or what I need to lose? What am I doing this for health? Is it something that needs to be long-term because I need to keep from going on medication possibly?
Right. There's a lot of reasons. A
There's
lot of people,
lot of reasons.
there are many people that keto, because I don't know what to say, they keto for health only. They have no weight to lose.
There
people
are a lot of people. I mean,
Right,
that's what maintenance is.
Exactly. I was going to say, you have lost 100, pretty much, we're just going to say 100 pounds because you're right there. I've lost, with keto therapy, I've lost 40 overall. And it's not even about the weight for me anymore. It's about,
not for me either. I mean, obviously it's been this long.
So why wouldn't I continue this lifestyle? Do you know what I mean? Like, it gave me what I want.
Yeah, exactly.
It gave me what I want with my body changes. It gives me what I need with my skin and my energy and, my mental clarity. Like, all these things, I'm thinking, wow, this all comes from the way
Also,
that
like
I
the bloat,
eat.
the lack of
Yes, no bloating, no pain.
Digestion issues. Like,
For
I don't
sure.
have anything like that.
So I guess that's why I'm saying, like, you hear, oh, keto is not sustainable. Keto is not something you do long term. It's a short term diet, blah, 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 blah. But we're telling you that Google article that you read about, that is wrong. And we're proof, and we can give you hundreds of other people that are also proof.
Look how big this community is.
Exactly. So you can't always just believe what you read on Google. Okay. Go find out on your own.
It spook you either. I mean, like I said, that the next step is saying, okay, I want to try this. Look at your timeline. What are we doing this for? Break it down for yourself. Okay. Well, I just want to do this for a couple months. Then you're looking at more of just, hitting it hard, fast, right? And getting the weight off and doing a diet. Is this for health? Is this for long-term weight loss? And that's, different.
Right. But here's the thing. I think about this, and I'm just throwing this out there. If you decide to eat the keto way, and then you lose the weight that you want to lose, and then you go back to the way you ate before, you will gain weight back.
100%.
Period. So it is tough to say.
Just like any other diet.
I think that's important. That is important, because people will say, yeah, but after you quit eating keto, you're going to gain weight back. I'm like, yeah, after you quit eating after you quit eating that bland chicken and that broccoli and quinoa, you're going to
when you stop Atkins.
Yes, your body is
whatever it is.
Your body is going to it's just going to go right back to what it did before when you stop what you're doing.
To me, a diet is really meant for, like you said, getting back on track. Or maybe you just like I said, you bought a dress. You're like, oh, I guess I spent this last couple months, like, just not even focused, not thinking about it, not tracking, not doing anything, I need to get in this dress. Like, I can see where a diet could be temporary, but from what we know, you're going to be right back. And and that's the biggest thing.
That's any diet.
Most people's answer is going to be like, well, no, actually, I want the lifestyle. I do. I need it.
Because that's okay. So now let's talk about this. When I started, I didn't know what I wanted, but what you said is right on. A plan, and a plan is necessary for anything. I mean, if you're going to do anything in life, you have to plan it first, right? Unless you're spontaneously doing something. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about anything that's going to take time and effort and organization. For keto, you have any groceries. I mean, you have to make a grocery list. You have to go shopping. You have to prepare your food. Like, that's for anything. But specifically, this is what we're talking about, keto. You have to make a plan. You said you had a plan. You gave yourself 30 days. You were like, okay, I'm going to do this hardcore.
I cut everything out.
Right. You went strict 30 days keto.
Vegetables, low carb fruits, and low carb veggies.
And then protein. And fat.
And protein. And fat. I had a lot of bacon.
And a lot of bacon. Which is protein and fat.
Which is perfect.
Perfect.
It's like the avocado.
She loves her bacon.
You can never go wrong.
When I started keto, I didn't have a plan because I was very hesitant And I didn't really know what I was doing. I didn't know anyone that did it. I know you were hesitant, of course, but then
I
you
was
had your
so
mom
hesitant.
and then you were learning what it was. But me, I didn't know. I was completely going into this blind and had no idea. And all I'd heard was bad things from people who were anti-keto, keto
But then you
haters.
see the transformations and you're like, but how can you
Oh,
do that? People are
I was
losing
stalking
60,
the
70 pounds.
keto.
Yeah.
Yes, I was like, these people are saying it's bad.
Wow.
These people are so happy. They're doing
These people
keto.
are
They're
losing a ton
not.
of weight. Like,
Who am
yeah.
I gonna? I think I'm gonna go with the ones with experience rather than the naysayers and the ones that regurgitate the garbage that they hear. And people do that with everything. Why wouldn't they do that with
Oh,
keto
yeah.
too? Why wouldn't they? So I decided to think for myself. Go over there.
Go and
Let's
experiment.
try and let me be my own experiment and see if I think the same way as these people over here. And I did not think that way. I had great success. I loved it. And well, we know the story is I went to low carb and then I came back to keto, which I told that story in season
Yeah.
1. But I guess my point was to say I didn't actually make it a lifestyle, like purposely, mentally, like I knew until January of 2020. And that's when I was like, this is my lifestyle now. My body likes it. I have the autoimmune disease. It likes
Yeah.
it. My stomach likes it. So good grief, I like it. So why wouldn't I continue doing this? And
Exactly.
I will just ignore this, that keto is not something that you're going to do for life. Maybe you, but not me. This is what I've decided for now. Like you said last season, I loved what you said last season. You said, oh, how did you say it? It was so good, Ashley. You said, like I literally just edited this. I wish I could remember it verbatim so I could tell you. I have it right here because I actually try. Oh, Ashley, it's so good. It was why I was so thrown off because you said some amazing thing and it really
too
just
funny.
threw me. I'm telling you what, I can tell you right now what the amazing thing was because I already put notes to make it a image. It is, you live in each day for the future versus living to get to the next point. If that was a microphone, I just dropped it. Oh, wait, here. Because that was a lifestyle. You were talking about lifestyle.
Yeah.
You said
Yeah.
you will be more successful if you slow down and you really enjoy your process versus trying to speed it up to fit into something or just to look a certain way. If you slow down, you're more likely to continue. Like, there's some good stuff in that first season. And that one
I
wasn't
know.
even diet versus lifestyle mentality.
The point is that we want everyone to choose a lifestyle because we believe that there's not only the success weight loss, but that's where the health golden nuggets of health are.
Yeah.
It is
Yes.
in the long term. And that whole idea that it's not okay, that's someone else's idea. And how do you know that that is or isn't for you unless you try it
Right.
and you make a plan? Right? And
Yeah.
you really, really make a plan.
For you.
It's so much easier to go into this and ease into it and sort of coast and neutral as you kind of sort things out. It doesn't have to be perfect.
Right.
I learned that, I started keto so strict. If I do it, if I had to do it again, I wouldn't change a lot of things, but I would have given myself a little bit more grace. I was just so scared that I was going to do what I always
Yeah,
did,
because
which
of
was
your
bail
past
halfway through.
patterns. Yeah,
And I
that's
had to
natural.
make sharp changes because I had proven to myself that I couldn't keep it honest and I couldn't stay the track. So I had to do things differently. And that's what I did. But
Yeah. Well, it clearly
I wish I
worked,
would have
though.
realized that the journey really started before it ever started.
Yeah, but
And
you
that
evolved
was
to
it.
that. Like
Sure.
your mind, you had to do what you
I'm
did
a
to
different
get where you
person
are.
even than I was
Right.
then. And that's the biggest thing that we forget is like, it's
The
like
growth.
we think that we're going to start a journey and like, we're just going to be the same all the way through. So like where we start is like 2 years later, where you're going to be. The problem is that when your life starts aligning, when you actually do start to put all the pieces together and you do start to have success, that success starts building on top of each other. And what
Right.
is happening underneath is that
Yes.
you as a person are actually growing and changing. So
Yeah.
the thoughts that you had 6 months ago are not
Not
even
the
the same.
same.
The choices that
you
you're
give me
making are
chill
not the
bumps.
same.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
You're sort of growing into this person and like becoming this other part of yourself that you didn't even know existed. And the reality is that the choices you made the first 6 months or the first couple months may look so different.
Yeah.
in the next 2 years. And in fact, you may look back at that person 2 years ago and say, man, wasn't that a wild time?
Yeah.
I never thought, I'd be here. Or look how much I've grown. And because I was able to get my health and my life under control, I've been able to exceed, excel, or sustain the success 10 times over.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. You can
apply it to everything.
So many other things than just food.
I know, and a beautiful thing. I have a regret. Oh, I have a regret. I wish, and this is in line with what you're saying about you're a different person. Like we're the same but different. The same but different.
Yeah, of course.
But
Evolved.
you evolved and grew. But when I look back to allowing myself to listen to those haters,
or just anybody,
or the keto
opinion.
police. It was the keto police. Just anybody, right? Anybody's opinion about anything that I was doing. I am so disappointed in myself when I think back that I allowed that to stop me from doing what I set out to do, because I absolutely did. Because I set out to do keto. I didn't care. I thought I didn't care what people that hated keto thought. Little did I know the people that were doing keto had an opinion too and let me know that I was wrong. That shocked me. I think it shocked me because I didn't expect the people within the keto world to tell me, hold up, girl, you aren't keto. Look what you're eating. I didn't expect that. I had no idea that was a thing. You know what I mean? Because in my mind keto was I need to keep my net carbs low. It wasn't about the food exactly that I was eating. It was about that.
Yeah.
So that's what I thought from my own research is what it was. And then you have these, whatever you call them, keto police, I guess they call them, telling me that wasn't true. And what it turned out to be is they were wrong. But I allowed their opinion to stop me. And I will always be disappointed that I allowed that to happen. And like you said, we can't do that with anything. Do not allow anyone's opinion to stop you from anything.
If I were you, I would never regret that.
Really?
Never. If you can't look at that and see like, oh, they challenged me. They tried to stop me. They did. They had
but I gave in.
moment to completely have me give up forever.
Right.
But you came back. And
I did. I came back.
Ooh, did you have a fire?
And then I have a podcast with you.
And you would have never had. But see, this is what we get caught up in, right? The past, the never haves and didn't do's, the I should haves. You have to go through every one of those painstakingly uncomfortable moments of growth. Because what do I always say? If everything is good, you learning nothing, girl. You learning nothing.
That's right.
If life is golden, you've learned nothing.
Nothing. That's
We're
true.
slipping behind in your own life and you don't even know it.
It's so true.
The challenges that we test ourselves or get tested and we have to overcome them.
Yeah.
That's where the growth is.
Absolutely.
In the overcoming, not in the ride and in the passenger side. Okay.
Right.
Of your life.
You're right.
There is no growth there. It's good. It's steady. But are you growing? You're not being challenged.
I felt this with other parts of my life. But listening to you say it right now about a diet that I'm like my lifestyle for what I eat, I didn't ever think about that part.
I think it gave you more fuel because when you came back, you were decided. You didn't care what people had to say.
I did. 2020, I was like, I'm doing keto.
Maybe
and I was feisty.
Maybe had you listened back then, someone else would have been dictating your diet. You would have been the person saying, well, how do I do it?
Yeah.
And you'd have been living a diet in someone else's eyes.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have been your own experiment. That wouldn't have happened for
I wouldn't
you
have been
until
as
much
strong.
later. Or maybe you would have just given up and just said, it's just not really working for me the way they do it. Yeah. Instead, you left.
And I quit looking at them. Anyone. Like, I don't look at anyone to get
realize that those opinions do not
matter.
They are just that, an opinion, and everyone has one. And y'all know what the saying is.
Yeah,
they're just like, when everybody has one.
Well, and also too, just like everything else that I knew, but again, I didn't think it's. I love that I'm having one of those moments on here, like you've had, where you're sitting like, wait, what? Why? What?
How does this apply to me? Is this really happening right now?
Wow. I know, right? This happens. Like, it's crazy how we have this conversation, but I'm like having like growth, realizing something that I didn't realize. But my point was that if I hadn't went through that in 2019, I wouldn't be able to be so strong in sharing it with other people. Like, no, don't listen to them.
You became
Keep your eyes on your own plate.
for other people. And
Right.
I don't know if you could have done that.
I
Had you
couldn't
not
have.
had your
I would
experience.
have had the
And
experience,
it's like
right?
that moment had to happen for you.
It had to happen.
It's hard for us sometimes to go back and feel that we made a mistake and not see it as a moment of growth, or see it as a setback on purpose. And that's what I always say. It's like,
And that's not, it had a purpose. Yeah.
You're being redirected here, regardless if you know it, see it, feel it. It's what's happening. And I know why, because check in a couple months. I'm just saying, just check in later. That's what's happening.
Yes. On purpose, for purpose.
Myself this. I still have no smell and taste. I don't know what in the world could possibly be happening here. But I'm meant to learn something. And maybe until I learn it, I won't get through it.
Isn't that something?
Maybe the thing is that
absolutely, this is right on.
That I don't learn anything, or that nothing changes, and I have to learn how to sit with grief for a really long time, and that I still can get over this, and my life is not over. And just because I've lost something doesn't mean that I can't learn to reshape my life. This is what we do as humans. We have to learn to overcome.
Overcome.
And if I had to choose between losing my life and losing my smell and taste, hello, I pick this one all over any day, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
I would have never gotten medication. I would have never done the things I would have done.
Right.
I would have never put my health even more forward, because it's all I have to focus on.
Yeah, you wouldn't have had that moment in your car. You wouldn't have seen that doctor. You wouldn't have found.
I would have never gotten medication for an existing issue that I already had. Let's just
but
be
that
real.
you wouldn't.
I needed the medication prior to this. This was the
this just exposed it more for you.
So that alone, I have already realized that if I get nothing else, I got help, and that is something that is hard for me to ask for.
Right.
Because I consider myself a strong individual. I don't take a lot of crap. I make my own rules. I beat to my own drum. I don't care. I do me. I support others. I care about other people. But if there's nothing else I learned, the one thing I can honestly say through this entire tragedy is I got help. Yeah. And I needed it. And I needed it prior to this, but I didn't realize how bad I did.
Yeah. So it happened for a reason. It's hard to see that, but it's good that you see that.
And you saw what a mess I was 6 months ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like a different person.
It really is. So you're not as intense, I got to tell you. You're not as intense as you are. Did they tell you that at work?
Stressed out. No. They just think that I'm more happy because I'm not a tug of war in my brain. With myself.
No, you could totally feel it. I'm telling you, the intent. You're still passionate. You're still, but you're not intense. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, right. I could still be, but overall, and I'm not so medicated that I'm like zonked out.
Gosh, no, you just got the edge off.
I can cry still on the flip of a dime, which is something that people freaked me out. Oh, you're not gonna have any emotions, blah blah blah.
Yeah, people. There you go with them again. Shut up. They don't know what they're talking about. So, for them, maybe, but not for you.
Just like you, because of this, I'm advocating for mental health so hard it's not even funny.
Right, because of your experience.
In my real life of people that, and now I can see it. I'm like, you're depressed. I know
she's now a therapist.
Not like that, but people will come to me and say, like, I'm feeling like this. And I was like,
right.
So 6 months ago, I couldn't tell you this. I'd be like, oh, we're all suffering like this. No, we're not. It's not normal. You don't have to live like that. It's just different.
Yeah.
I also didn't realize how bad depression can affect you and how quickly it can take you under.
Yeah. All of this is really good, I think, with the topic, because we are talking about keto diet versus keto lifestyle. I mean, you can only talk about a keto diet for so long. So let's just be honest. But look at the lifestyle that's been created. The both of us have expressed our lives and the growth, and just by, making different choices by the way that we eat, we've also expanded that in our lives. We've taken control of our own health mentally, phically. I mean, I think this is all beautiful, and this is a lifestyle thing. So are we for lifestyle? Of course we are. We're going to vote lifestyle for both. We
always are.
But like we said, I mean, there's a time for a diet, and lifestyle, we're always going to say, is the best thing. Now, if it's not the keto lifestyle, I mean, find your lifestyle. But finding a lifestyle, that is where it's going to be, the changes are going to happen, and they're going to be small, but they're going to add up, and they're going to make permanent changes. Unlike a diet. A diet, you're going to yo-yo. You're going to go back and forth. It's a start, stop, and it's not
Yeah.
something that you can do for your life. But a healthy eating, keto even. Now let's say this, because I think this is important. I don't think a doctor is going to recommend that you are dirty keto for the rest of your life, because dirty keto can be very unhealthy if you do it long term. Let's be honest. I mean, I talked to my son about dirty keto. He goes, Mama, I've seen people that are dirty keto. I don't see how that's much different. I'm like, sweetie, that
It's processed food. It's
still,
not. It's not.
it's a lot of
A whole lot
drive
different.
foods. It's a lot of processed foods.
Yeah.
So when people say, oh, keto's not healthy, they're probably talking about dirty keto. Now, would a doctor say, and I'm not a doctor, but I'm just wondering, because I started off dirty. Let me just, I was dirty for a very long time, and I thought I'd be like this forever. But what I learned is, I feel better when I'm clean with a little dirty splashed in. And I feel like that's more balanced in life in general. So if I wasn't keto, and let's just say I was eating, a balanced diet of protein, vegetables, fruit, I would still sometimes have a donut, right?
Or have a dinner, have a dessert.
Right. So why can't that be the same with keto? It can. And that's the kind of lifestyle that you could look at long term and have your dirty moments, splashed in there.
To me, I've always said this, to me, the point of the substitutions, the point of the treats and all of that is to keep you from actually eating the real thing. It's always going to be the more preferred choice.
Right, that's true.
The real thing.
Yeah.
There may be sometimes you eat the real thing too. That's okay.
But and that's okay.
If we're talking on a daily, if you need a substitution to get through.
Yeah. If you want a sandwich and you got to eat the low carb bread. Yeah.
That's okay. Right. Don't beat yourself up on the specifics. It's important to just try to get yourself in ketosis. However you get there is however you get there. You can worry about all the minute details and every minute macro and tracking everything. Just getting into the habit of creating a lifestyle and moving in that direction is going to serve you much better than the hot new red Corvette, right? Which is the diet.
Right. Lose 30 pounds in 30 days. Like that.
Quick, super fast. She looked good. She dropped
red flag.
Right. But we know that it'll be back after that graduation party or that vacation or whatever.
Yeah.
Often the minivan is the route you want to go, right? Slow and steady.
I get it. I get what you're saying.
Maybe she doesn't look that hot, but the inside.
But you know what? She does her job.
It's got, those, the pull down,
the sliding doors,
screens in the back, and the sliding doors, and like the pilot chairs in the back. And
we're a little loopy, I think, tonight. We've gone off into a lot of different visuals.
We have a lot of examples.
I know. I love it. I love I'm a visual person.
So the moral of the story here is that there is no wrong answer. But we always think there's a better answer. Yes. If you can, and if your goals align to a lifestyle, that's 100% going to give you long-term results. You're going to feel your best. You are going to be able to make slow changes, and those things add up. Consistency is it's worth more than anything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, thank y'all so much for joining us today, and we're going to see you next time.
Bye, friends.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us today. You can find and connect with us over on Instagram at More Than Just Keto. Don't forget to subscribe so that you never miss out on the fun. We'll see you next time.